So what are some ways to use a resistance band to enhance your stretching and mobilization? One of the best ways, I like to start with this lunge position. The band is just hooked in the hip crease there, and you just sink in and hold each position for 20 seconds up to 2 minutes, whatever feels like you need the most. And then from here, I like to drop into this position. The band just helps create a little bit more space inside the joint capsule, so you can ease into the stretches more easily. And then from here, you can also drop your torso down. You'll get a really good stretch in the glutes. From here, I like to come into this lunge position, where now it's on the back leg, and it's just helping to open up the front of the hip a little bit more. And then you just scour for some tight corners. You can get the psoas more here too, because it attaches to the lumbar spine. So using your arm to go overhead. And then you can also drop your knee down, get a little bit deeper into it. Same thing here. And then you can also go into this ATG, split squat kind of position. Shout out to Ben Patrick, knees over toes guy. A lot of these stretches you can also do on an elevated platform like a bench or a box. You can get a little bit deeper into the glutes and the upper hamstrings. So just some of these variations here. Drop your knee out. And the back leg again here in this position. You can also get the glutes and deep hip rotators in this position using the bench in an incline position. You can adjust it at different angles. The higher your knee is, the easier it'll be. With the band pulling back there. In this position, you can also do this variation of the couch stretch, where you just really get a good quad stretch in this position. Just try to not hyperextend your lower back. Try to keep your glutes contracted to protect the lower back. And then really dig into those quads there. You can probably tell my quads are pretty tight. I need to do this more often. And then another good thing you can do is turn to the side and then use the weight of your body to push the femur into the hip socket with this lateral distraction. This is really good. A good mobilization to do before squatting or deadlifting, or really any lower body movement. From there, you can also do this standing hamstring stretch, where the banded leg is the front leg. Bend over, floss the muscles and nerves, bending the knee, straightening the knee. And then just scour through those corners to get different angles and find all the tight spots. When you have your foot angled a little bit in, you'll get more of the lateral hamstring, which tends to be tighter. So you might notice it's a bit harder when you have that internal rotation. You can also do this variation of a lying hamstring stretch. You can watch my last video about that hip and knee decompression technique to figure out how to set this up. And then just use a strap or another band. Get into deep hip flexion first, and from there, lock out the knee and straighten the leg. And then you can also do this banded one where the leg you're stretching has that distraction. Again, start with the hip flexion and then go into the knee extension. If you don't have something to anchor the band to, you can always use a band and anchor it to your opposite foot. Just loop the band around, and then opposite leg. And then from here you can basically do the same thing, just using your own body as the anchor, which is really handy if you're just like in the office or something, or maybe you're traveling and you don't have anything to anchor it to, but you have your band. Another great stretch you can do is using a band, looping it around a knee and then around your back and then around your other knee, and then doing this squat stretch against a wall, and then just scoot your butt as close to the wall as you can. This is really good for opening up the hip and through the adductors. A lot of times when you're squatting and your adductors are too tight, it'll be hard to get your knees into this externally rotated position. You can do this without a wall, but the wall is helpful for trying to keep your feet straight instead of them just coming out like this, because that's where you'll get that external rotation torque through your feet. And then you can also use some weights to just help with that adductor stretch. And then one more you can do is using a band above you like this, getting it behind your hip, and then just opening up the adductors this way. Just hang out there 20 seconds to 2 minutes, whatever you feel like, whatever you have time for. And then if you're really interested in this kind of mobilization work, just check out Becoming a Supple Leopard by Kelly Starrett, Master of Mobilization.